Okay, guys, can you hear me enough? Oh. Sending now. Okay, can you guys all hear me? Well, I was not thinking of it. This is sort of spontaneous, but I guess I'm just gonna do it. Hello, everybody. Today I'm just gonna be showing you guys a brief look at R3D2FoC 3.1, sort of showing you how progress is going. Just a brief update, because apparently people wanted to see this. All right. So first up will be the amount of galactic conquests coming to the mod. Yeah, it's a lot. A lot. And this isn't even all of them, mind you. This is not all of them. This is just the sandbox, the full galaxy. This is just the full galaxy for... This is just the full galaxy for each era. This is just one piece of it. Second, the factions list. Rebellion, Empire, Zon Consortium, Mandalorians, CIS Remnant, Independent Forces, Corellian Resistance, Pentastar Alignment, Warlords Zinja's Empire, Greater Muldruid, and Ariado Authority. So, a lot of cool stuff coming. So, none of this is playable right now. I still have to do quite a lot of updating until this is going to be actually playable, but this is most certainly, I think, is impressive. Okay, so I'm going to be going over the eras and basically what each one will be. Now, I can't show you most of the eras because they are in... Like, the only one I've actually gotten any progress on is Era 1. Like, that's not a joke. Era 1 is the only era. Okay, so the Era 1 is the Old Republic. So, like, pre-Clone Wars Republic. I'm going to show you guys a bit of that. So, how this works is, no, there is no Old Republic faction. Oh, it's unnamed, because, okay, you're a bit behind. Okay, so you guys are a bit behind. One sec. Okay, everyone does not have its own era because it's the same scenario. It's just the same scenario set in different eras. Okay, they're gonna have different names. These are all just the same scenario with in different eras. This is Era 1, Era 2, Era 3, Era 4, Era 5, 6. Now they will all have different names, like the regional campaigns, like Deep Core and New Territories will have different names. It will have different names, but I'm going to show you guys a bit of Era 1 because it's the only one that I can actually show you. It is set in the time of the Old Republic. So basically how this works is there is not an Old Republic faction, so it's the Empire. The Empire is reskinned in this era as the Old Republic. So you click Empire, click Era 1. Any Era 1 scenario will be the Empire. It just reskinned as the Old Republic. Now, this is not finished in any capacity. This is like literally the bare bones. And if you see stuff that you don't understand, then it will be explained as we go along. Alright, first up, new GUI. It's kind of greenish because I like green. As I mentioned earlier, I am actually going to be part of the mod now. I'm in the mod. Okay, so this is the new galactic map layout. So very simplistic, but more reflective of Legends and canon. And no, all of this stuff will not spawn in Era 1. This is just like, I haven't tweaked the starting spawns yet. So, all of this will be Old Republic stuff, like Old Republic era stuff. But, first up, also this has not been tweaked yet, this will not be here. But basically, each era will have its own unique unit set for each faction. Yeah, I will. That's a good idea. I will. Alright. So, basically every era has its own shipyard structure. I'm gonna have to redo the whole shipyard thing. There'll be a more thorough explanation on that later. But basically, there's the shipyard for Era 1 will construct Era 1 stuff. It's just literally just me. It's High Admiral R3D2. He's a High Admiral. Also, hero traits. There will be hero traits. So basically, High Admiral, Command Tier 2, commands the Imperial 2-star destroyer Defender. So that's pretty much it. I haven't gone through all the hero stuff yet, but I will at some point. Okay, as you can see here, ignore the Broadside, Y-Wing, and TIE Avenger. I didn't lock those by era. I'm going to. But these ships will be available to the Empire in Era 1. So we have the CR-90. This is actually the Counselor Corvette. I just haven't changed the icon yet. We have the Counselor Corvette, Hammerhead Cruiser, Praetorian Frigate, Dreadnought Heavy Cruiser, and Invincible Class Heavy Cruiser. So basically how Era 1 will work, it's not going to necessarily be any specific time frame before the Clone Wars. It's just sort of like a mishmash of everything before the Clone Wars, because it's quite a lot of work to actually break it up in a few pieces. I plan to eventually do a more in-depth version of this, but that's quite a ways away. I'm just gonna briefly show you guys. I'm just gonna show you guys the ships real quickly. Also, trade routes are required to travel between all planets now. It makes it to where you can see what travel lanes are going to be now. It's easier to plan campaigns. Let me see what else. That's about it. Aside on the galactic level, the shipyards will be redone by era mostly. And
Star Destroyer reporting in.
all right, so we're gonna go over here. Okay, so in Era 1, it will be the Empire and Mandalorians will be the playable factions here. All right, here we go.
This pitiful force is preventing our assault on this system. Dispatch them so that we can secure orbit for the Empire.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix that or not. Speaking of which, I'm actually going to turn the volume down a bit. I'm just going to turn the volume off for this. All right, so this is the basic Old Republic space roster. This is basically the Empire space roster in Era 1. Also, new hardpoint textures. Thank you, DOC, and the Days of Carnage. The Days of Carnage developer was able to supply me with the hardpoint textures. So yeah, new hardpoint textures. Pretty cool. Yeah, so this is a pretty simplistic space roster, I'll admit, and I haven't fixed this is going to be gone. Like the Praetorian will not have that. It's just there. But we have the Dreadnought Heavy Cruiser, Invincible Heavy Cruiser, Praetorian Frigate, Hammerhead Cruiser, and the Consular Corvette. Now, of course, there's going to be more than this. This is just the basic roster. There's going to be more stuff. There's going to be more Corvettes and some fighter types, of course, but this is the bare minimum space roster for the Old Republic or Empire in Era 1. This is the Empire's Era 1 space roster currently. It's pretty well balanced. So we have the big ship, obviously, of this era is going to be the Invincible class. Obviously, there's going to be other stuff in this era, like the Precursor class battle cruiser. I have not programmed the Precursor yet, but that is going to be like the big ship in this era. Aside from the Mandator 1 Dreadnought, the biggest ship in this era will be the Empire's Mandator 1 Dreadnought, available in this era. It'll also be available in Era 2, which is the Clone Wars, but that's not this. The Hammerhead in Rebels vs. Empire in the actual Hammerhead. Okay. Yes, so the Hammerhead Corvette and Hammerhead Cruiser are two different ships, and they will be here. They will both be here. This is the Hammerhead Cruiser. The Hammerhead Corvette will be in here, yes. Alright. Hammerhead Corvette will be available to the Empire in this era, in Era 1. Oh no, that Hammerhead is dead. Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. Consular, get over here. Okay, so the Consular does not have as much firepower as a lot of other ships, and it does not have as much firepower as other corvettes, but it's still pretty powerful. No, wait. What am I waiting for? But that's about it for Era 1 so far. I plan to obviously add a lot more content to this. There'll be a lot more ships, but currently... Oh. The Hammerhead Corvette was not in Era 1 during its time. After said era... No, Hammerhead Corvette existed in Era 1. It existed in this time frame. It's a very old ship. Like, the Essential Guide to Warfare explicitly makes it known that it was present before the Battle of... present before the Clone Wars. So, it's like I said, this is just a mishmash of all the stuff that happened before the Clone Wars. I understand that's a bit of, like... That's a bit weird, but there's not much I can do there. I plan to eventually flesh it out a bit more. It's just I don't have the assets to spread between all these different eras and stuff. Of course, there's going to be some expansion of content in future versions. Maybe I'll expand this into multiple eras, but currently it's just the Mandalorians and Old Republic in this era. It's okay. Okay, I said that, I'm just gonna say it in chat. No, because that's just... Okay, Hammerhead Corvette. Hammerhead Corvette was present in this era. Like I said, this is just a mishmash of all the stuff that happened before the Clone Wars. I plan to expand it a bit more in future versions, but that's... Yeah, it was. That it was old. Like, there's a picture in the Essential Guide to Warfare, like, in the years before the Battle of... Like, before the Battle of Naboo. They were in service before the Battle of Naboo. No. It was Old Republic. It was part of Ralph... Oh, I always forget his name, but Grand Moff Tarkin's, like, great-grandfather or something. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. It was part of the fleet that supported the Trade Federation in fighting some pirates before the Battle of Naboo. Yes, the Hammerhead Corvette is very, very old. Okay, moving forward, that's about all I can show you guys for this era, because there's really nothing else. All the other stuff I have planned is not coded yet. But, there's a couple things that I want to show you other than that. First up, I'm going to show you some of the Warlord factions. First look at the Imperial Warlords. The Imperial Warlords will only be playable in later eras, and actually not all eras, period, because, you know, they didn't all survive that long. But... the Warlord rosters I've kind of kept under wraps. I've told you guys some about it, but not really much. It's mostly because I didn't really know how I wanted the roster to turn out. Those fighters, the normal Empire or Piper, not the Piper Independent. Maybe. They don't have hyperdrives, so they'd have to be in, like, carriers. And the independent forces will get carriers, so definitely. Alright, so next up, we're going to go through the Warlords in order. So we're going to start with the Pentastar alignment. This will be in the Imperial Civil War story campaign, and basically anything that says Era 1. So I'm going to have the different eras next to the names, or in the description, in some point. The eras will be somewhere... Oh, they do have hyperdrives? Okay, then yeah, definitely. It's a vanilla unit that I can just slap in with minimal coding. That came out wrong. Okay, Pentastar alignment. We'll show you guys the Pentastar alignment up first. They'll be playable in most eras. Alright, so they start up here, as usual. So, their stuff is, let me see. Oh, did it not? Oh, yeah, I haven't tweaked them for the eras yet. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I haven't... Oh, yes, I have. Okay, Kuwait Shipyard. Okay, so this is actually something that I wanted to tell you guys about, but I haven't really had an opportunity to. In the Imperial factions will all share the same basic ships. They're not going to have like okay, so everything larger than Victory Star Destroyer class will be shared by all the Imperial Warlords. So like the Imperial Star Destroyer, Tector Star Destroyer, Praetor Mark II Battle Cruiser, tease, and other stuff. That stuff will be available to all Imperial factions, so the Warlords and Base Empire will have access to that. Also, the Enforcer class Picket Cruiser, which is basically an updated Vindicator, will be available to any Imperial faction on Jameis. I'm going to show off the Praetor too, just because it's cool. Also, the Pentastar alignment has a few ships in its roster that are fairly interesting. I didn't tweak them for multiplayer, so I can't tweak them for eras, so I can't show you, unfortunately. But they'll be able to build Munificent class star frigates on Monolist, and among other things. Obviously, they start with the Super Star Destroyer Reaper, Grand Moff Kane. So it is an Executor class Star Dreadnought that they just start with. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to show you guys this, then we'll move on to Warlord Zinj. Zinj is actually the Warlord. I haven't done anything with Zinj yet, so actually no, I'm not going to show you guys Zinj, because I have done literally nothing with Zinj. But, let's get started here. It's literally just the Executor. We have the Praetor Mark II. The Executor will be getting a new model in the next version, but they do not have it yet. Enforcer class is basically just a Vindicator, but it has ion cannons instead of laser cannons. So it's a bit more powerful. It's more powerful in ship to ship, less great for the hero. Because there's no story scripting. I can't do story scripting for this mod for a number of reasons. But they did too. They're not the only faction that can do that, by the way. Warlord Zinj starts with one, and that's the closest faction there too. And the Empire will start with SSDs in some eras as well. There's also the Praetor Mark II. Obviously, I'm going to make it a bit bigger because I think this is a bit small. But the Pentastar alignment is just tough, okay? Now, the thing is that they will not have any AI on the galactic level. Like, literally, they will do nothing on the galactic level because the Pentastar alignment was very isolationist. So, this is not even going to be a threat. Like, the PA will literally not be a threat to anyone. Unless you're playing as them. Okay, so, let me walk that back. Yes, there will be story scripting, but it's not going to be like it is in Thrawn's Revenge. Like, where there's always, like, scripting all over the place. Like, the whole thing is built on scripting. This is built on little to no scripting. The scripting will be like an extra for story scenarios. Scripting will definitely be in story scenarios, just not like the regular campaigns. Because one, story scripting for modded factions is weird. Like, you can't just do like a plot file. You have to like make a branch file and tie it together with Lua, which I am terrible with Lua. So, story scripting is going to be very minimal, and it will be story scenarios mostly reserved for the three main factions. Next up we have Zinj, but I'm not going to show you Zinj because I've literally done nothing with him. So we're just going to go straight to Muldrude, which actually has an interesting game mechanic. Okay, so Greater Muldrude. Alright, so the Greater Muldrude, and actually Warlord Zinj as well, and the Empire, have a mechanic that you guys are probably seeing right now, Crimson Command. The Crimson Command Star Destroyer will be available to all three of these factions in some eras, but not in the way you think. They're not going to be available for production. You can't build Crimson Command. But in some scenarios, you can spawn with Crimson Command in your starting forces. Which, interesting fact, Greater Muldrude actually has the strongest starting spawn of any faction because they start with so many Crimson Command Star Destroyers. Also, they have their leader, High Admiral Troutentera. I never know how to pronounce his name. Anyway, so he is a High Admiral, has Command Tier 2, commands the Crimson Command Star Destroyer 13X. Jeez. The Crimson Command is literally just Victory 2 Star Destroyers painted red. Like, there's nothing really special about them. And, let's see. Alright, so I'm just going to show you guys briefly, because this is actually interesting, but, yeah, Muldrude is pretty tough. But the thing is that once those Victory Star Destroyers are gone, they can't get them back. And there are other things as well, like them having a smaller starting spawn than Zinj of the Pentastar alignment. I did not mean to spawn him there. I meant to spawn in Trident. What the heck? Is that the... Oh my gosh. Is that the freaking... You have got to be kidding me. Okay, so this is a funny story. I took a Victory Star Destroyer model and tried to paint it red, and it never worked. Of course it works now, but this is not the model. It will be a model like this, I swear. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be this. Pterodoc. I spawned the wrong Pterodoc variant. Anyway, that's a complete total accident. He'll look like this. Yeah, I know. Okay, I know they're not painted red. I know that it's because of the metal that they had to use. Metal because they had a resource shortage. I know that. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Let's see. All right, so yeah, Crimson Command. You guys actually saw Crimson Command because they were in the reveal video for Maldrude. Reveal video for. Yeah, that in the reveal video for the Imperial Warlords, but that's pretty much it. The Maldrude's roster I can't show you, unfortunately, because again, I didn't tweak the Warlords for eras because I've been focusing too much on the reskinning the different factions for the different eras, but they will behave much like the Empire does, and Crimson Command being in their starting is very powerful, but it's they can't get them back once they're destroyed, and they some Imperial factions can spawn with them sometimes. It's just like depends on scenario. So you might see these guys show up in the fleets of the Empire, Warlord Zinj, or Greater Maldrude, especially in later eras. The Empire will have them in most eras before the Battle of Endor. So I think that's what eras 3 through 5. Yeah, the Empire will spawn with them in basically every scenario in eras 3 through 5. But past that, it's going to be largely just Zinj and Maldrude because they start after that. All right, next up we have the Ariadu Authority, which actually has another interesting mechanic. The Ariadu Authority will be capable of building the Night Hammer on any planet that Sander Delvardis is in orbit over that has a shipyard. So they can basically build a Super Star Destroyer anywhere. Yes, GP gave me the image for the hard points. Yes. Let's see, Ariadu. Okay, so the Ariadu Authority. Delvardis has not been coded yet, but I will code him. Ariadu Authority starts down here on Ariadu, obviously, but other than that, aside from them being able to build the Night Hammer on pretty much any planet that Delvardis can get onto, they don't really... That's pretty much it. Basically, the unique SSD mechanic is basically exclusive to them. I plan to do more videos on them when I actually have it more solidly down on what they're capable of and actually have their on their actual rosters and got them coded for the different eras. But that's pretty much it for the Warlords. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's not everything though, because aside from this, there's one other major thing that I actually have not talked about yet, or even hinted at. Okay, actually I have, but I've never shown anything concrete about it. So those of you watching the stream are lucky because you're about to see something that no one else has, except for a fancy pirate because he is here with me sometimes. All right, so I hate this map, so we're gonna go to Power Insurgents. Skirmish reworks, all the bugs, all the issues with Skirmish. I have found a fix for them. I think. All right, here we go. So, as you can see, the mining facilities are gone. There are no mining facilities anymore. So how do you get money, you ask? Well, with this thing, the starport. The starport behaves sort of like a one-stop shop for all of your mining facility. Like, all your money comes out of this thing. The starport, you spawn it like you would a ship. It's a small space station that you spawn it like you would a ship. Then here you can get your money upgrades from it. So that should fix the issues that people have had with them not being able to be built, because you don't have to deal with the mining facilities anymore. Aside from that, there are also I haven't decided on the system on it, but you will be able to spawn extra defensive structures and shipyards. Your ships will come from your shipyards. There's also a research station that will get, like, where you get your tech upgrades and research, like all your upgrades for your units, and your space station, obviously. So upgrade money and spawn the shipyard. Those of you that have played Thrawn's Revenge recognize this model. This is the model from the old Thrawn's Revenge versions. Corey was kind enough to loan it to me. We also have the research station. This is where you get all your research, your technology, like so, all these upgrades, and the Dreadnought construction upgrade, but I don't really know what. Yep. I think this is more unique skirmish mechanics. Alright. There's also the deployable stations, but we haven't got into that yet. So every 2 levels you unlock a new shipyard type. So for instance, level 1 you get the light shipyard. Oh, there's an issue with my mining replacement? What's that? Please tell me, I don't want to... Don't keep me in suspense. If you can rebuild it, if you can build it, what? For the map. Well, yeah, that's the point. This is not really a permanent fix. This is just something to... I know Skirmish is kind of gonna have issues now, I know. I'm trying to make it playable. I know. I'm trying to make it playable. I understand that this is... Look, I know, okay? It's just, I'm doing the best I can here. I can't figure out the Skirmish asteroids, and the starport is just one thing. I'm going to nerf it so it will be slower, and... Yeah, I know. I know, but it's the best I can do. I've got nothing else. I've got no other ideas. My idea was that it would make it more strategic, because if you put the port somewhere, you don't have to put it with your main base. So you can have like structures everywhere, like have like an actual base set up instead of just your space station. But I know. I've been looking for a way to fix the mining asteroids. I have, believe me. But it's like just, they either crashes, they don't show up anyway, and I don't know. Like, I just don't know. But as it stands, I may fix it. I'm just trying to get Skirmish playable. I'll improve it as I go along, but Skirmish getting playable is my priority. Right now, that's my priority. Yeah, I know, but... Alright, so your main space station is where you can build fighters, and is where you will be able to get your heroes as well. Your shipyards are where you unlock your extra ship types. So, for instance, you have... Or one idea, the port could just be for minor factions, because... Nebulon B buff? Oh no, there's no Nebulon B buff, I don't think, no. Okay, I'm just going to go through and sort of show you guys the ships. You guys have seen these because they were in the updates, but the new ships are the Karak, Arquitens, new capital shipyard, big shipyard, and you've seen all these, but new ships, R3D2FoC, you've seen that. And that's pretty much it. Ooh, that's a new one. I'm just gonna show you guys all the new ships. Oh no, they're gonna be different. So first up, we have the Karak class light cruiser. I'm gonna make it smaller. I know this is kind of big. It will be smaller. We have the Arquitens class light cruiser, of course. R3D2FoC escort carrier. Thank you, Yuzon Vong War free release. Just get rid of these. Send the bombers away. Lorinar strike cruiser, Kuat drive yard strike cruiser, and Valiant class star destroyer. This is a new one. And that's about it. All of this stuff will be available to either the Warlords or the Empire in Galactic Conquest as well. This is just like the basic. This is just the basics in Skirmish. Oh, Nebula and B, because, you know, and Venator. Also, all the capital ships will come out of here. With the Dreadnought construction upgrade, you'll be able to get the Executor. Nebula and B, yeah, it recolors with the team, which I think is kind of cool. We have the Venator class, Star Destroyer. Yeah, it is a dedicated carrier, so it will be getting quite a few fighters. So, guys, I know that this is kind of an issue with like the starport being put. No, this is supposed to happen. It's supposed to texture with the team. I think that's the problem. That the textures, it's white. So I have the no color, the team colorization thing set to default. So like the default in Galactic Conquest is white. So I think that's the issue. I think that's the issue. So it's not an issue. It's just something I haven't fixed. So that it's not something I have to fix. It's just something that it does. What else is there? Oh, right. There's so much. Okay, so there's the Assassin Corvette. This thing is basically just a capital ship killer. We have the Raider class Corvette. Yep. The Empire will also have the DP-20 gunship, as you know, it's a pretty generic ship. Corellian Corvette. I plan to have it to where you can swap eras in Skirmish, like if you want to play as the Republic or like Clone Wars era, but that might be like later development. Oh, yep, there it is. There's the Executor. We'll definitely get that later. Is that all the ships out of the Victory, Dreadnought, Acclamator, Enforcer and Vindicator, the same thing. Oh, what's this? Yeah. Alright, next up we have all these ships. We're definitely going to have to send some of these ships to their deaths because we're not going to be able to spawn in all the ships. So we're going to send all of these ships just to their deaths, which is kind of terrible, but I don't care. No, I do care, but like... What? What the heck? Oh. It's because I'm selecting the shipyard too. Alright. Just all go to your deaths, okay? Implacable class, Star Destroyer, Imperial Star Destroyer. You guys get the idea. It's just your shipyards will allow you to construct additional ships. And then that's about it. Aside from that, This is just going to be more like a quick match sort of thing. I plan to tweak like the income so you don't get as much money out of the starport, so it's kind of slower. But so far, this is what I've got. Again, this is still early developments. This is not like final. This is not final. This is just like what I've got right now. Also, maybe this won't be to their deaths because this is actually an absolute massacre. Power to weapons. Oh my gosh, this is just like the AI unfortunately is not tweaked for this. So skirmish is going to be mostly a multiplayer thing, but I'm doing the best I can here. There's just not. All right, the other factions are not tweaked for skirmish yet, but that's about it. Also, one other thing. Oh no, I'm not going through the whole thing. But also, the basic campaign, like the story mode from the base Forces of Corruption, that is not touched. That will actually have the same planets and everything. I just need to go through and connect them all with trade routes. So, maybe, maybe not. I might put it back. It might not come in this version, but it'll probably end up back in there at some point. But that's pretty much it. Unless I'm missing something. I don't think I'm missing anything. We got all the factions done, I think. Or is it Galactic? Is that set up for other factions? Nope. 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 Okay. That's pretty much it. Other things coming to the mod. Let's see. Fleet tenders, like in Thrawn's Revenge or Awakening of the Rebellion. Ships that can support and repair other ships. Those will be coming. Other eras. All the eras coming in the next version. All the eras. Old Republic, Clone Wars, Young Empire, Galactic Civil War, Imperial Civil War, Against the Warlords, Thrawn Campaign, Dark Empire, Reunification, True Empire, Vong Invasion, Second Galactic Civil War, New Sith Empire. So like Legacy of the Force era. Now, the amount of content in these eras will vary greatly, but all of these eras will be playable, and the factions associated with them may or may not come in the future, which is the final thing that I want to talk about. As I showed you guys, I can lock and unlock units and reskin whole factions based on scenario. So, a new feature that will not come in this version, probably, but will come in future versions of the mod, is reskinning the independent forces. The independent forces will be reskinned in several scenarios, dedicated scenarios. They'll be the same. Like, the independent forces will not change as a faction. But in some specific scenarios, they will be reskinned as factions that I plan to add to the mod. So basically, in one scenario, someone set-aside scenario, they could be the Yuzon Vong, or the Zero Command, special factions that are not necessarily coming to the mod in their own slot, but will still be playable through the independent forces being reskinned in a specific scenario. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically how I did the Empire, how the Empire becomes the Old Republic in Era 1, I can do that to the independent forces in specific scenarios, so you can play as realistically infinite factions. So basically any faction that you guys want to be added to the mod, I can now add without having to take up an extra slot and without a lot of the development that would come with it. Now obviously it will still be a lot of work because I have to actually program the scenario, but it would still be, you know, another faction coming to the mod without taking up a slot here. Also another use for the independent forces. So hope you guys are excited for that. Nothing really of note about anything else. That's about it. So, questions, comments. I will take them now. Also, those of you just tuning into the stream without you guys can also ask me on Discord, like in the general #general on my Discord. You guys can definitely check it out there. A list of all the changes will be here. Also, this will be a VOD on my YouTube channel, so you guys will always be able to come back to this and watch it later. I have done literally nothing for the Rebellion. I hate to say. Like, literally nothing. The Rebellion has just been, like, genuinely... The Empire is the only faction I have really worked with. And that's about it. Nebula and buff. Not necessarily buff, but they will be changed. So the fleet tenders will be able to repair the Nebulon Bs in particular because of their no hard points in Nebulon B. The assault frigate, I think, might get buffed. Maybe not, or maybe more. I plan to do like assault frigate variants. So a big thing in this version is going to be variants of different ship types, at least in certain eras and stuff. But fleet tenders with any ship. Yeah, fleet tenders will work with any ship. It's just that, like, ships without hard points are most effective with fleet tenders. I disagree. They're actually pretty good. They're going to deploy fighters in this version, especially when playing as the Empire. And that's about it. I have to go in a second. Like, just about. But that's about it. There's not really much else to talk about. So, yeah, skirmish patches and fixes, hopefully. Not health, not shield. Their armament, yeah. The assault frigate, definitely, probably gonna get some more firepower. I'm not sure. It's possible. That's about it.
Mom says you need to go.
Okay, I am.